So you want to fight me, Steven? Well, our fight will be streamed live on Netflix with absolutely no buffering and on high resolution. So millions of people can watch me destroy you.
Hi, I'm Magic Cyborg and I'm a nerd who makes stuff. So, the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, huh? The fight happened, what, 2 weeks ago, I think? As of recording this? So, yeah, I'm a little bit late to the coverage party. Oh well. Today we are sculpting Spinel? I've already forgot how her name is pronounced. From Steven Universe. This was a suggestion from J&V channel. Thank you for your suggestion. If you want to suggest a character for me to sculpt, feel free to leave a comment down below. I am only sculpting whatever you guys comment. So as I'm sure you can guess, this video is in fact not about the Paul v Tyson fight, but it's actually about the fight that came right before it. I am of course talking about Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 2. And I say 2 because this is a rematch. And this fight was a pretty big deal, as this was a fight for the Super Lightweight Championship, with Taylor being the current holder of the title and Serrano being the challenger. So the stakes are pretty high, wouldn't you say? Now I said that this fight is a rematch, so before we talk about said rematch, what was the first fight like? Well, for researching this video, I have sat down and watched the first fight between the two in its entirety. The fight took place on April 30th of 2022, and oh, hey, look who it is. Yeah, so apparently Jake Paul was Serrano's promoter for this fight. I guess that explains why Serrano ended up showing up to his event. But as for the fight itself, wow. Just wow. It was an awesome fight to watch. They were just wailing on each other. And the audience went crazy. The crowd was constantly yelling and cheering. As a matter of fact, at the end of round 3, the crowd was so loud that supposedly the referee couldn't even hear the bell go off. Isn't that crazy? And speaking of the audience, the comment section on the video that I was watching was really praising this fight. Some of them are even saying that this was the best fight they watched, period. And I would put myself in that crowd. It was a super entertaining fight to watch. I have a link in the description for the first fight between Taylor and Serrano. I highly recommend that you give it a watch if you're into boxing/sports. As for the results, the fight came super close. Both fighters lasted all 10 rounds with neither of them falling to the ground. And based on a split decision, meaning 2 out of the 3 judges scored on one boxer as the winner, Katie Taylor ultimately got the victory. But both Taylor and Serrano were pretty dang quick to say that they want a rematch, which after 2 years, that would come true. Now we're in November 15th, 2024, where the whole event with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson event is taking place. And right before the big fight that everyone came for, myself included I will admit, is none other than the rematch between Taylor and Serrano. And this fight did not disappoint either. The more this fight went on, the more invested I was. It was pretty fun to watch. Now something that I noticed was that Taylor had kept holding on to Serrano, almost as if she was giving aggressive hugs. And the referee had to separate them a lot of times. This also happened in the previous fight as well, so I'm not really sure if this is common. But regardless, this time around, Taylor got a little too close for comfort and started headbutting Serrano, which you don't exactly have to be a boxing expert to say that that's a bit of a dirty move. And she did it multiple times too, so many times in fact that the referee actually deducted her 1 point later on in the fight. But it gets worse though. I believe it was like, what, the first headbutt that happened, I think, that gave Serrano a horrifying cut on her eye. Now, I am going to show images of this in just a second, and I will give a warning to those who aren't a fan of gore. If you don't want to see these pictures, then I suggest that you skip to the timestamp on screen, or better yet, you can just look away from your screen and turn back when I say it's safe to do so. That way, you can still hear my obnoxious voice. And with that said, I'm going to show the images in 3, 2, 1. Oh my sweet Jesus. So the referee called a timeout when he first noticed this cut. But Amanda mother flippin' Serrano had chose to just tough it out and keep fighting. And what's crazier is that this wound got worse and worse as the fight went on. That freaking tear just got bigger and more open, and the fact that she went through the rest of the fight like this is truly impressive. Like, if this doesn't scream Rocky Balboa, I don't know what does. Alright, so it's safe to look at the screen now. You can turn your eyes back here. And now we're approaching the end of the fight. And once again, both fighters have made it through all 10 rounds with neither of them falling to the floor. And this time, the winner was decided based on a unanimous decision, meaning all 3 judges agreed on who the winner is. And Katie Taylor won again. But it wasn't met with as much praise as last time. I'm seeing a whole lot of people wholeheartedly disagree with the judges, saying that Serrano should have won because of Taylor's whole headbutting spree that I mentioned earlier. And honestly, I kinda agree. But then again, I'm not the best person to turn to when it comes to boxing. Most of my interest for boxing comes from my love for Rocky. Besides, I sculpt characters that have spawned hyperfixations across the nerdiest of nerds. Does it look like I'm into sports? What I'm trying to say here is to just take all of my opinions with a grain of salt. But that kinda goes to show how awesome this fight was. For a complete gamer nerd like me who only showed up for the funny YouTuber fight to get this hooked into a boxing match containing people I've never even heard of is pretty awesome. I guess you could say that this fight was pretty eye-opening. Too soon? Yeah, you're right, too soon. But joking aside, I want to applaud to both Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. You both are truly strong and talented fighters. And I also want to applaud you for watching all the way towards the end of this video. If you want to suggest a character for me to sculpt in a future video, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day.